earlier we've been talking, and you told me that your dad doesn't like you fighting. So, how did you get into fighting if your dad doesn't like you fighting?
I mean, it was first he didn't like the MMA part, but
Okay.
I started with karate when I was 3 years old,
Wow.
and then when I was like 11, he saw judo and was an Olympic sport, and then I started the switch, the transition from karate to judo, and then I was 18, finished high school. My dad sent me to here, Boston, actually, Wakefield,
Yeah.
to train with Jimmy Pedro. He's two times bronze medalist in the Olympics.
Okay. In judo.
In judo,
Yeah.
yes. And Jimmy Pedro has like 6 Olympic medals in total with his athletes. And that's why I moved here. And actually, my high school professor showed me a video of Chris Cyborg fighting MMA.
Yeah.
And then I looked, I was like, whoa, I'm moving to America. I'm going to do this.
Wow, that triggered you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I moved here and then I started.
So originally your dad had like Olympic dreams for you,
Yes, he did. He
and
did.
and then you were training that like that aggressively. Were you training
Yes.
2, 3 times a day?
No, every day, yes.
Yeah.
And my goal was to go to the Olympics. I compete in the national team with Brazil in Brazil and went to a couple tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
But and then once I moved here, I was qualified to go to do the tryouts for the 2016. But I decided not going because I didn't want to move back to Brazil. I had to represent Brazil, not America.
Oh, was that a citizenship issue?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. But hey, look, now the trend you've transitioned, and if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, we have professional boxer,
yes,
professional MMA,
yes.
black belt in judo, and currently a purple belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
Jiu-jitsu, and I'm a black belt in karate too.
karate.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you had to do something with that.
Yeah,
Yeah. And are you a full-time martial artist?
I am. I teach and I train all day.
Okay.
That's what I do.
And I had seen that um you have like a women's defense class.
I do.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, my goal is to build I always say a woman's empire.
Okay.
I want to teach self-defense to all the women out there. I think it is so important. Every woman should know how to defend themselves
Yeah.
from a young age to an old age, being confident and learn that even we're a woman, we can do this. We can defend ourselves against a guy, against anyone.
Yeah.
So my goal is to bring the self-defense to everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you fought in Manchester, I can tell you right now, like I told you, it was my business partner, me, my girlfriend, and his fiance, and they both like loved you. They were like, "Oh, look at it, she's jacked." They were like, "Oh, my girlfriend's dedicated to the gym even more," you know. So you're definitely spreading that message because you went in and you had a great match. So let's talk a little bit about that as a pretty much a takedown artist and a ground specialist. I noticed in that fight you didn't take her to the mat.
No, yeah, I wanted to test myself the stand-up level. All my other fights, I have 13 MMA fights, 14 MMA fights. And until that one, I took everybody to the ground. And that one, I wanted to test myself. I wanted to test my stand-up and
Okay,
see
so
it.
so it had nothing to do with her background.
No, because her background was taekwondo.
Okay, so
So
she's
but
a
it's
striker.
more smart for me to take her down.
Yeah, right, right.
But I was like, I'm gonna test myself.
Yeah, and you did a great job. It was
Thank you.
that was a very good fight. That was 3 rounds,
3 rounds, five
5 minutes
minutes.
a round,
Yes.
and that's the MMA standard
Yes.
for a non-title fight.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. And how'd you feel after?
I felt good.
Yeah,
I was gave me more confidence about my stand up. That's
yeah,
what I needed a little bit.
and your stamina.
That was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you do boxing, when you do pro boxing, what is your preferred rounds? Are you doing 4 fights? Excuse me, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds when you do boxing?
For the pro, I only do the 4 rounds.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the what they offered me. 4 rounds, 2 minutes. But I feel like every martial arts, everyone has a different cardio.
Okay.
It's a different pace.
Okay.
The MMA, the boxing, the jiu-jitsu, the judo.
Right. Which one's the hardest?
I don't know. I think for sure boxing, because it's just you only have your hands, and it's just that punching, go, 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 go. At least with MMA, you can hold, you can grab, have that little time to breathe. Jiu-jitsu, you have the ground, so you still hold, you still can breathe. Judo, you take to the ground a little bit, you stand up. But I think the boxing, the cardio, the pace is a little more go go go.
Yeah, because you can't hide.
Yes, there's nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to hide, and
There's nowhere to run.
and you know what they're gonna do for the most part, and you have to
Yes,
defend it. There's
you gotta
no
punch and keep your hands
yeah,
up the whole time.
yeah, exactly. I know we had talked about that with Chad. Like you make a mistake, and your mistake is you get knocked out,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it's like, but you're gonna take damage, you know. In an MMA fight, I mean, I guess in a boxing fight, you can come out and knock someone out real quick
Yes.
and not take a
Yeah.
punch. But in MMA, you could come in, take somebody down, work the ground game, and be like, I didn't even take a hit. But in
Yeah.
a boxing fight,
You're gonna get
you're gonna get hit,
for sure.
right? So let's talk about the big thing coming up. Let's talk about it. Combat Zone number
79,
79, Wednesday, March
15.
15th at the Encore in Boston.
Yes.
Dana White's going to be there.
Yes. That's the big opportunity right
This
there.
is it, right?
That's the dream come true.
Yeah, hopefully, right? So, what are you thinking going into this? Like, are you thinking I want to impress him and I want to get pulled up, called up?
Yeah, definitely. The goal is to impress him and show what I'm capable, all my skills, and show that I can put everything together and I'm ready for the next level to
Yeah.
the UFC.
Okay. And if I and again I think I read like somebody is going to get.
Yeah.
Is that's the point of this? Is
Yeah.
he's there and
Yes.
somebody has it already been determined? Is it the guy the people from the main event or is it?
No, I think anyone can get picked, you know.
Yeah,
It's about more like impressing him.
right. Because again, if he came in to look at one person and then you impress him, he can. Who says he can't pick seven?
Yeah, and my fight is the only female pro.
Okay,
So
that's awesome. And what do you know about your opponent?
actually, we used to train together like 7 years ago. It's a great fight, you know. She's a tough opponent. She has the heart, but I think it's gonna be a great fight. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a bang.
What's their background? What's her background?
She's a stand up too, great jiu-jitsu too. So it can go either way.
And no bad blood there. Just happens to be a
No,
different
you
school.
know, business is business.
Yeah.
When you step in the cage, no matter who you are, you know, that's the
You're there
business.
to win,
Yes,
and they're there to win too.
yes,
Yeah.
sure.
It's
That's
at
awesome.
the casino.
Hmm.
It's gonna be this is the big stage, you
Yes.
know. And Calvin does a great job with Combat Zone with the smoke, the lights. Like it's might as well be UFC as far as like I mean I've never been to a UFC, but like you go in there and you're like this is legitimate.
Yeah, it's a good promotion, you know. He definitely help us and give us the best.
Yeah, and obviously you enjoyed working for with him the first time, and then actually you told me you were with him when he was didn't own it yet.
Yes.
11 years ago, your first.
11 years ago, I fought for Combat Zone. That was my first amateur fight.
Yeah. Are you doing anything different to prepare for this, knowing what's coming up, or is this just business as usual?
Just business as usual, you know, trying to sharpen up all the tools,
Yeah.
stand up all the way to the ground, and time to put everything together.
Yeah. Trying not to get comfortable knowing that you know the opponent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not trying to let that out of the head.
No, no. Never get comfortable, you know. Opponent's opponent, you know, you got to take serious no matter who they are.
Yeah. So, what is the next step as far as after this? Where do you see yourself going if like, again if you don't get picked this time to be in the UFC?
Definitely one of the big events, you know, Invicta, Bellator, PFL, any one of those big events, definitely.
Wow. And you had also mentioned that next you're going to the Pan Am's, correct?
Yes.
And you said you won last year?
I won last year as a
So
blue belt, and I'm going now this year as a purple belt.
yeah, you excited?
I'm excited. I love to fight
All day, every day.
all day, every
Yeah.
day.
It doesn't matter. You pick, right? Boxing, judo. Have you done a judo competition anytime recently or anything like that?
No, my last one was in 2018. I won the Quebec Open
In Canada.
in Canada. Yeah,
Wow. How old are you currently?
I'm 31.
31. So we had talked about earlier about how, judo really takes a toll on you. And you plan on doing this for the rest of your life. Do you have a window where you say professional isn't in the cards anymore? Like, do you have like a window where you're like, all right, if 34, if I haven't made to Bellator or somewhere, I'm gonna just focus on my teaching. Do you have a something like that?
Yeah, I think I'm giving myself 5 more years to fight. You
5 more
know,
years.
yes, and then I definitely want to open my gym, and I want to spread the martial arts to everywhere. You know, focus on my self defense,
Yeah.
get all the women's out there to train and be ready and confident.
Yeah. Do you see like uh, a hesitation for women to come to the gym, and then having you here, kind of like, lowers that? Like, oh, wow, look, she looks tough. I want to be like that. Do you see that, or do you, when you talk to people, is it always like, oh, I'm scared?
Yeah, it's that's it was funny because like I just started a program here at the defensive edge, and I thought it was gonna be easy to recruit women, and their response was like, "Oh, I'm too intimidated. I'm a little scared."
Yeah,
But and then I'm like, "Just give me one shot. Give me one class, and then if you don't like, that's fine.
yeah,
But give me the opportunity."
yeah.
And then when they came stepping in, they're like, "Oh my god, I love it. This is amazing. I'm not intimidated, and having a woman teaching, it's so important too,
Mm.
because they get comfortable, And I have 26 women now.
26.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's on like a weekly basis. What do you do, like 2 3 days a week?
Yeah, I do two different classes, one in the morning on Wednesday and one on Friday at night.
Okay, and if I, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. I just saw like the poster on your thing. It's a 2 month course.
It's a 8 week, yeah, 8 week. But
Yeah.
and then we're gonna turn because they love it. We're gonna turn as like a regular class now.
Okay, so like use the 8 week to get people up to speed, and then introduce them to the full time
Yeah,
class. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And it's 26 people. That's a good class.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Now they care more. You got to take care of your partner. That's the
yeah,
first thing we always say. Without a partner, you can't train.
absolutely.
So it might be an individual sport, but without your training partners, you're not gonna go nowhere.
Right, right. You're the best person in the gym, but you're the only person that shows up because no one wants to work with you
Yes,
because
yes,
you've hurt or
yes,
injured everybody.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think that that's something that a lot of people don't understand, is that the other person's health is literally vital. Like, it's the number one thing whenever I would train. On my mind was always like, I'd rather get hurt than the other person. Like, if you've ever even come close to hurting somebody, like, it kills you.
yeah, for sure.
Like, if
It
you're
might
training
happen in
partner,
an accident, but definitely you got to take care of your partner. You got to take care of your teammates because
yeah,
without them, you're not gonna train. You're not gonna go nowhere.
right?
And they want to be part of your success. If I made it, it's because they helped me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They can say that they train at your gym, and that
Yes.
that so many people watching you, and then go, I train with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's what does your solo training look like?
My solo. I don't train by myself to be honest. I always
Like, you don't do weightlifting,
I do,
weighting.
but I always have like my partner with me. Yes.
You always have somebody pushing you.
Yes, yes. It's important. By yourself you get a little like you need that little push.
Getting lazy.
Yeah,
I said I was gonna do 5 miles.
unmotivated. It's always nice to have a partner next to you. For sure, some days I come here by myself and I train, but most of the time I do have my partner with me. Yes.
So, what's been the most difficult part of your journey from 3 years old till 31 years old? What's been the most difficult part? Like, have you ever thought about quitting? Have you ever?
Yeah, it's patience. We want to make so bad and you wanted that thing to go as fast, but and then you got to realize that everything has your time. So it's patience. It's you're going to fail. It's part of the game. But picking up yourself and standing up and getting back again, it's the most important thing. 2 years ago, I was coming back from my shoulder surgery. Didn't fight for 4 years, and I got this big fight. The whole year was like, oh, I got to fight. It failed. I got to fight. It failed. And then actually, when it happened, unfortunately, I fainted before walking in, hit my head right open, and that was my bottom point. I thought about quitting. I thought about like, what I'm gonna do. I haven't made yet. This was my opportunity, and putting the piece together, myself back together. That was one of the hardest part.
So you had a shoulder injury,
Hmm.
then you 4 years on the sidelines. You get there for the fight. You're about to walk out, and you
And I
fainted.
fainted. Yes. Until these days, I don't know. I made peace with myself, but definitely I reviewed that the whole day a million times. What could I done different? What did I do? What I did wrong, and went to Brazil, did a bunch of exams, and everything was right. and making peace with myself, and like my coach calling me like, hey, this is just a little stone on the way of the path. You're coming back. We're gonna right back into training, and we're gonna turn this around. And then last year came. I won Pan Am's. I won my first pro boxing. I won two MMA pro fights. I took second at worlds weigh in open weight, and I took second at worlds no gi. So all the glory to God, because definitely without Him I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
Um, I'm back.
Yeah, and that's an incredible story. You have no idea what happened.
No idea. Went to the doctor, did all kind of exams, hard CAT scan, everything, and everything was normal.
Wow, and still no idea, and now
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yes.
Wow.
I had incredible last year, so and I'm healthy. I'm here, ready to go.
So the time that we saw you at the Wyndham, was that your first pro boxing?
The Wyndham, yes, that was my second pro box.
Second one.
Yes.
And where was the first one?
First one actually was right after when I had surgery. So yeah, I came from a loss. That and then before my surgery, I had my first pro MMA. Came from a loss, so it was a tough like couple years.
Yeah, and you've just dragged it out and
Yes,
just
shake it off.
pulled yourself out of the mud and
Yes,
shake it off. Because a lot of people, a loss can really get to them.
yeah. Mentally is the hardest. Sport is hard, that it's a roller coaster. You win some, you lose some, and it's just like how it's on your head. You got to work that and be strong inside in your mind than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know it's winning and losing, but you always think it's just winning.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's not.
yeah. Unfortunately, right?
Unfortunately.
Right. Right. When you came here, when how old were you when you moved to Boston?
I was 18.
And did everybody come with you in the family?
No, my parents came, dropped me off, and said good luck.
For real?
Yeah, I didn't even speak English. I learned here. I went to school. I went to college. Yeah, I graduated from the university like 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you must have had family here.
No,
So where'd you live?
I lived in a judo house.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, okay. So because you came here to do Olympics, they had
Yeah.
like a sponsor that.
They have a judo house. Yeah. Ronda Rousey lived there. Yeah. Kayla Harrison.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, Travis Stevens. So yes, big names of judo and
Yeah,
MMA too now.
I even know him, and I don't know a lot of judo.
Yeah.
Travis Stevens,
Yes.
because he
So
also had made the transition to jujitsu.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So yeah, we all lived in the judo house.
that must have been interesting.
Was fun. Was fun. Definitely. All we did was train,
Everyone go to
sleep,
bed.
and
They're
repeat.
just here slamming on the ground, like we're just practicing. We're just practicing. Don't get mad. That's incredible. So you came here at 18 to do judo Olympics.
Yes.
What was your first like? What was it like transitioning to the MMA? Like, where did you go, and how did that move come about?
Um, I had a friend that took me there and took me to a this jujitsu place, and I started training. They only trained me for a month for my first fight, so it wasn't yeah, it wasn't the smart move, but
Yeah,
we learned.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The only so much carries over, right?
Yes,
Right. And now you're in love with jujitsu.
yes,
Yeah. Um, obviously, goal is to get your black belt.
yeah,
You're gonna compete all the way up.
yes.
Do you have like ADCC dreams?
No, I think I'm just keep the worlds and Pan M's, get as much titles as I can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always said I was never gonna compete jiu-jitsu, and here I am.
Why? Why was that? Why was that?
I don't know. It's on the ego that you say. I went to a gym and I took the guys down, and after that they were trying to murder me, and I kind of like hated that. And then my coach Anderson, he got me around and made me love jiu-jitsu now.
Wow. So the like you said, that ego came in where guys didn't like getting submitted
Yeah.
or taken down or whatever it was.
No matter what martial arts is, like, it's a men's environment, and for us women, we got to prove ourselves every day, and and get our shot and show that we're as good as the men's, you know.
Right. And like until you can open your school and you can change the environment where it's a woman's environment and
Yes.
make people more comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm and again I as much as I always try to like not necessarily downplay it, but I definitely saw that too where, you know, some guy some woman slips a kick past a guy and then you can see that like that trigger like you just see the red, you
Yeah,
know.
you got bit by a woman.
Yeah, it's like, and then, and, you know, and there's, I don't know what that is about, but I guess it's just built into DNA, and hopefully someday we can navigate that in a better way.
No, things are already changed, you know. Most of my training partners are men, and
Yeah,
you know, and I love it. And they're great. They're amazing.
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you have the accolades, and you've earned their respect, and like, because you told me earlier that you had your nose broken.
Yes, I did. By a guy.
Do you think that that was intentional or completely accidental?
I think I don't know. I don't know. It was a long time ago, and
Yeah, yeah. Forgive and forget. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
We've moved on from that. Do you are you responsible for selling tickets still, like for Combat Zone and stuff
Yes,
like that?
yes, yes. Well, that's how we make money too, you know,
Yeah,
selling tickets.
yeah,
And I'm thankful that I have a big group that always follow me and like always go to my fights and
yeah,
my Brazilian friends, American friends. Yeah.
yeah. Very passionate.
Yes.
They were behind us,
Yes.
and I was like, "Here, just take my seats. Just come on up," because otherwise they were screaming over me. So yeah, I was like, and but that's awesome to have that. We had talked to Chad about he went to they had a fight at Mohegan, and he had posted at Mohegan Sun, and he had posted pictures. And I said to him, I said, that must be like heavy, like on you personally, knowing that you sold and like you have these people that spent their time to come see you. Do you ever feel that? Like if you have an event that you sell like an extra amount of tickets and you're like, oh my God, like everybody's here to see me. Do you feel that or have you gotten past that because you've been fighting for so long?
A little bit, you know. Definitely get a little like nervous. They're like, it's a little bit weight on the shoulder. And oh my God, I have all these people
Yeah.
that come and took their time, you know, drove all the way to here to see me. So definitely want to put a good performance, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, and has it ever like interfered with you or are you just like, oh, okay, it's stressful, but I get it. It's
No, it's part of the game, you know. We can let those stuff get in our head.
yeah.
It's actually awesome, you know.
Do you find doing like staying competitively active, doing Pan Ams, doing these jujitsu things? Do you find in boxing because MMA is clearly your number one focus?
Yes.
Doing these things keeps that down. Like what?
Yeah, definitely. Keeps the confidence and the blood rushing, you know, going and active. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, staying sharp, and you have no issues swapping rule sets.
No, a lot of people ask me that. No, I think because training for so long, every martial arts and dedicating each one specific. Yeah, I never had a problem.
No,
Yeah.
never been in jujitsu and wanted to throw a
No.
punch. No.
No, actually, one time I was training boxing actually, and I wanted to do a little sweep, and I was like, "Oh no, this is it. This is
Oh, this is
boxing.
a
Wrong sport."
little foot sweep. Yeah. Have you seen the combat jujitsu?
Yeah,
And what do you think of that?
I'm not a fan of slapping things.
Yeah.
I don't want to get slapped. That's
Yeah.
the most thing offensive you can do in Brazil.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so if somebody slap me in the face, it's
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah. Then it turns into fist real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I never thought of that. So like culturally, like that's very offensive,
Yes,
and
it
you're
is.
not interested in doing that at all.
Nah, nah.
But you would definitely do like the super fights.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
And do you know if there's any around here? I think I've seen a couple in Boston.
Yeah, I seen a couple ones, but yeah, nothing got to me yet.
I would love to go
For sure, yeah,
and then have somebody like you there or Michelle.
yeah. She's the one that does the super fights. I
Yeah.
just go. She's my training partner, and
Yeah.
I go with her.
Yeah. She said, don't get on camera, but we're still gonna. Yeah, and that must be great having a person around you like her that can uh, keep you up to pace and support you.
Yeah, you know, it's was one of the best things that happened having a training partner in her level and do the same thing as me, and it's one support the other one, and it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think also a huge thing is people don't understand that once you are in a gym, it's like family.
It is. It is. It's a family, We spend more time with them than with our real family.
Yeah, right, right. Especially when you're doing it as a full time job.
Yes.
Right. How often are you at the gym? Like
Every day, Monday through Sunday.
9 hours a day, eight
Yeah.
hours a day?
I train 2 to 3 times a day, and then I teach 5 classes a day. Depends of the day.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. No signs of slowing down.
Not yet.
See you a lot with the kids.
Yeah, I teach a lot of kids, and I love it. They're the next generation. That's the future. So give them a good base is the best thing and is the most important thing.
Yeah, uh, I agree with that. That's and Chad said the same thing. He said like where I'll make my biggest impact is with the next generation, with the
Hmm.
kids, because you're teaching kids, like you said, empowerment. Whether it's a male or a female,
Yep.
because like you know how it is. There's quiet kids. I was a quiet kid,
Hmm.
and then as you get older, you find your way to work through. But in with jujitsu, and you have to face that fear of failing and that fear all the time, it really makes you stronger
Hmm.
and more powerful. And then when you can teach the kids, like it's okay,
Yep.
because I think that we have this false narrative somehow in our head that a mistake, you're never allowed to make mistakes,
And that's not true. You to make to become better, you gotta make mistakes.
never allowed to lose.
Yeah.
If you're going to compete, you're going to lose, right? Like, but kids and parents, like, they point out the negative, they don't look at the positive,
Yes.
and that's what the jujitsu forces, right? Like,
Yep.
it's a constant, or martial arts, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter. Karate, to do your kata, you're you're never going to do it perfect the first time,
Yes.
right? Like, how much time did you spend on certain ones?
Oh my God, a long time. Cause yeah, my first national, I was 8 years old. I won. My first international, I took third at Worlds in Japan. I was 9 years old.
Wow, in Japan?
In Japan, I took third at Kumite and eighth in kata.
Wow,
So yeah, the kata was the you got to do the perfect move, and I remember I used to train 3 hours a day as when I was 8 years old. I had a gym at home,
just doing movements.
movements all day.
So you had a gym at home. Was your dad a martial artist?
No,
Or
everybody
your
asked me
family? Yeah,
that.
nobody in your family?
Nobody. Actually, I started because of my brother. My dad put my brother, and then I used to go. I was 2 years and 8 months, and I started crying to jump in the mats, and the coach was like, "Just put her. She'll quit." And then the rest was history.
And you definitely never quit
I never quit.
and won championships. Did your brother quit?
Yes.
There it is. There's the rub, right? Is like she'll quit, and you're like, challenge accepted. You didn't even know yet, and you said challenge accepted.
Yes. Yeah, I had a gym at home. He used to bring the coach, karate coach Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a judo coach Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday and Saturday. They didn't have judo in my town, so my dad brought it judo. Yes, he invested.
Wow. Thank you, Dad. Shout out to
Yes,
Dad.
definitely. My dad, my mom, that without them I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. And so hopefully a big goal would be to have all the family come and see you at the UFC.
Yes, that's the dream.
Saw that you were doing it, I was like, oh my god, like this is it, the one, because you hear Dana White's gonna be there,
Yeah.
and then you had a fight,
Yeah, so I originally I took a boxing. I was in the main event
yeah,
and it was going to be a round for the first time. And then when this opportunity came, I was like, you know what? MMA is my thing, my dream. And sorry to my old opponent, but MMA is my thing, and I couldn't let this opportunity to slip out.
no way,
Yeah.
no way, yeah, because you had messaged me and you said, hey, I got a fight, let's do a photo shoot,
Hmm.
I'm the main event, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, like, all right, cool, and then you were like, scratch that, this is happening now.
Yes, God has better plans.
Yeah, yeah, that's incredible. And hopefully that all turns out, knock on wood.
Yes.
Yes, because
Amen.
we never, yeah, pray. Um, Last fight, you want to do a bare knuckle fight as your last one.
Yes. Fun fact. Uh, I grew up on a farm, and every party, they used to have this huge party for the church. The people bring stuff to sell and make money towards the church. and the guy that used to work for my grandpa used to grab all the kids, go to the back, and put me to fight all of them. So that's how I start fighting.
And that was bare knuckle.
And that was bare knuckle.
So how it started is how it ends. That's the goal.
Yes, I want to do at least my last one gotta be a bare
And
knuckle.
let's get this on documented. Michelle said you get one,
Yeah.
so she can't back out now.
No, she can.
It's documented. It's documented. So that is the history of the cowboy hat
Yes, yes. I grew up at the
signature.
farm. Yes, that's if I always say if I wasn't a fighter, I was gonna be in a rodeo. I have videos on YouTube riding baby bulls.
You?
Yes.
Wow,
I love horse. When
I,
I won my first national, my dad gave me my first horse. I was 8 years old. And yes, that's one of my passion.
it's farming,
Yes.
or is it? It's not necessarily farming. It's the animals.
Yeah, the farming. I grew up and every time I go home, first thing I go is to the farm and keep myself there to recharge the energies. And yes, I just love the nature. I love horses. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what. And the cowboy hat is the tribute to your past.
Yes, yes. My past, my roots, my future.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, do you plan on like when you get done with fighting, possibly take some of the money to
Yes.
get into farming?
Yeah, my dad has a farm and definitely I want to keep that in the family.
Yeah. Do you plan on moving back?
um, I don't know. Who knows, but definitely 6 months here, 6 months there.
Yeah.
And
No
yes,
more winters, right?
yes, winter I'll be in the
Yeah.
farm.
Because you canceled on us one time because it was so cold.
Yes.
But granted, it was like the coldest day. It was like -10.
Yes.
I didn't blame you at all.
I always joke I was not made in the cold
Yeah,
and
no,
not made for the cold.
I don't think any of us were. I think we just tolerate it. But
Oh yeah, first I want to say thank you to God.
yeah,
Without him, I wouldn't be here today. My team Force, my jiu-jitsu defensive edge, Coach Vincent Sigjotong, Furcano, and my sponsors, Macedo's Carpentry, De La Russo Plumbing, Oliveira's Restaurant in Everett, Backman Construction, New England Sport Therapy, Danielle's Roofing, Cook's Signs, and Atlas. Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
yeah.
And without guys, this wouldn't be possible either.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. We talked about that a lot in some past episodes. Like, people think that a sponsor is just a patch, and it's so much more.
It is. It's a way to help us, with our training, with supplements, with everything. We spend 3-4 hours training a day, so those are the times that we could be making money.
Yeah,
And the sponsor comes right in hand to help us.
yeah. To supplement all the things that need to be done.
Yes.
Even though you are a full time martial arts teacher, that doesn't mean that you couldn't be doing something else that would bring in more money,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, or you couldn't be teaching another class.
Yes.
Right? Like you're like, oh, I have to take this 4 hours, this block where I could have two classes,
Hmm.
but now I can't because I need to train. I need to
Yeah.
focus on myself and my
Hmm.
growth, and then they help you to continue.
Yeah, and sometimes we can turn down the classes too. I don't teach as much if I have a fight because
Yeah, you
it's
have to.
exhausting too. It's the same thing as I'm training. If I'm holding pads, I'm teaching. It's the same thing as someone is training.
Yeah, when you post a lot of the stuff in the classes, and I say to myself all the time, I go, "Yeah, I'm tired watching you. And I'm like, and then I'm like, I always think about it. I go, oh man, then she goes and trains, and then if she's doing cardio, or like I'm like, man, this much must be so physically demanding.
It is. It's sometimes it's exhausting, but you gotta do what you love.
Yeah, chasing the dream
Yes.
is what gets you out of the bed in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. So if anybody's looking for you, they look for the cowboy hat. That's your signature.
That's my signature.
Big smile. I love it. Combat Zone Wednesday, March 15th. Do they have an online link for that?
I think you just can find a Ticketmaster.
Okay.
And once it get close, they're gonna give us the link for the pay-per-view that you can watch at home.
Yeah, right. And then we'll put a link for that if we can. If you get that in time, we'll put that in there. After that, you got jujitsu tournaments. We're gonna link your Instagram here so people can follow you. Thank you so much for coming in. Michelle, thank you so much for coming in. James, thank you.
Yes.
And that's a wrap.
And thank you.
Yeah, thank me.